Hi, this is Mike Fry, and you are listening to the We Effing Told You So podcast. Today is June 5th, 2026. Today's installment, Trump, equal parts con man, pickpocket, and magician. The art of directing attention is at the core of all of these performers, charlatans, and thieves. Call it the art of direction, directing attention, or misdirection. It is a thing used by all kinds of cons and thieves to manipulate you. And frankly, the only real difference between a con artist and a magician is that with the magician, we're all in on the con. When we willingly hand out the cash to see one, we are paying them for us to be fooled. We all know that they're using techniques like sleight of hand and other tomfoolery in order to trick us. Try as we might, we can't quite figure out how they worked the trick, and that is from where the entertainment is derived. We agree to let them try to trick us, and we enjoy watching them work the art of doing exactly that. The only real difference then between a con artist and a magician is that with the latter, we offer our consent to the trickery. Trump, his family, and the Republican Party writ large, however, are not at all interested in getting consent from those they are fooling, stealing from, and otherwise conning. And the biggest tragedy is that they aren't even good at the art that they're using to do it. They only get away with it due to the large number of influential people who conspire with them to help them pull it off. The most recent, and we argue one of the most egregious examples of this, revolves around the so-called $1.8 billion slush fund Trump and his DOJ tried to materialize out of nothing that he would use to pay off the traitors, the actual convicted seditionists who attacked the U.S. Capitol on January 6th, to help him try to overturn a free and fair election that he lost. The plan, they said, was to create an account to provide payouts to those people who, it should be pointed out, were either convicted of or who pled guilty to very serious crimes against our government, including attacking, beating, and nearly killing police officers, smashing windows, smearing shit on the walls of the Capitol, and more. That proposed slush fund wasn't the real grift, however. It was the distraction used to perpetuate an even bigger one. It was used to help conceal another, and to Trump, his family, and friends, much bigger and more important heist that they were pulling off. You see, along with the grotesque $1.8 billion slush fund to be paid to actual traitors to the USA, Trump also negotiated, with himself, an agreement that the IRS would forever be barred from auditing or investigating him, his family, or businesses for financial crimes. The slush fund was the distraction that caught everyone's attention. Everyone in the press and people in both political parties screamed about that slush fund for a week. And while everyone was paying attention to that massive distraction, Trump slipped in a get-out-of-jail-free card for him, his friends, his family, for all their financial crimes, including tax evasion, money laundering, fraud, and a host of other things that will take billions of dollars more from taxpayers to line their pockets that are already overflowing with stolen cash. To a self-serving narcissist like Trump, that was the true prize. And while the sleight of hand was obvious to us, literally, the first thing we asked when we heard the DOJ was dropping the slush fund was, but what about that immunity shit? Hardly anyone else took notice. Almost no one in the press, those people who are paid to report on such things, took notice. Some Democrats in the House did, and they asked Todd Blanche about it at a hearing on Monday, June 1st, 2026. Blanche's answer was convoluted, mealy-mouthed, but he confirmed that, in fact, while the DOJ was killing the slush fund that everyone was screaming about, they were going forward with the ban on auditing, investigating, or charging Trump, his family, or businesses for financial crimes. How can that sort of insider dealing even be legal? The only thing any of us can do about it is demand that our senators and representatives refuse to let that go forward. We need to scream about it as loud or more loudly than we did about the slush fund. We also need to demand that the press cover this aspect of this insider dealing as aggressively as they did that slush fund. Otherwise, they'll be granting this raft of grifters and pickpockets access to your hard-earned money for generations to come, and we'll only be left to say, "We effing told you so." You have been listening to the We Effing Told You So podcast. You can find us on Substack, Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and most other places podcasts can be found. Please like and subscribe and share on your social media. And thanks for listening.